This is Midi Kuper, and in this video I want to show you how to create scenes. Scenes define combinations of sounds you use in your live performance. The power of Midi Kuper is that it allows you to place any of your synths under the control of any of your keyboards or MIDI controllers of any kind, such as pads and other more esoteric devices. You can then create massive layers, splits, and transpositions in your songs from any and all of your synths on a single keyboard or on multiple keyboards and controllers. You are no longer restricted to combinations of sounds from a single synth. Not only that, in each scene you can also set up control for devices such as a MIDI programmable guitar amp or a virtual amp, a voice processor, and any other device that can respond to MIDI data. So even your singers and guitar players can benefit. Each scene you set up can be a different combination of all these things I've described. You assign scenes to songs, and then define lists of songs you will perform live, and Midi Kuper will step you through each scene, reconfiguring your gear and your entire setup instantly as you perform live. In this tutorial, we will learn how to take advantage of Midi Kuper's layering, splitting, and transposition capabilities. Let's bring up the scene construction view, identified by this button labeled Tracks, because the presentation is similar to tracks on a digital audio workstation. Let's click on New to initialize a new scene. And I'm going to name it Demo Layer. Now I need to add tracks. Each track makes a connection between one of your MIDI controllers and one of your instruments. To add a track, we just need to click on this plus sign. And now Midi Kuper is asking me what controller I want to route to what destination. I'm going to select the top keyboard, going to a True Pianos plugin. And click Add. And we now have a basic scene with a grand coming from one synth, Now let's add a strings layer by clicking the plus sign again to add another track. For this track, I'm going to select the same keyboard as the source, the top keys, and as a destination I'm going to select strings coming from a totally different virtual instrument on my DAW. And now I have a layer of strings and piano coming from two completely different instruments. Now let's say the strings need to be an octave higher. Midi Kuper allows me to transpose them up. First, we enable the Transpose button on the strings track. And I will also turn on the Interval Sense button so I can create the transposition from my keyboard. To set the transposition value, we play any first note and then a second note where we would want the first note transposed. So I'm going to play a G and then another G 1 octave higher. And your transposition is set, as you can see, for an interval of 12 half steps. We can also adjust the initial volume for each track, and if your synth responds to balance, we can set that too. To make it easy to hear what is happening, you can expand the track controls to view more buttons and controls for the track. You can mute or solo a track just like on a DAW. Now suppose I want to split instead of a layer. Let's put the strings on the top half of my keys and the piano on the bottom section. The first thing we want to do is to solo the strings track. And we want to enable the splitter. I also want to enable the splitter sense button, so that I can create the split from my keyboard. In this case, we want to tell Midi Kuper two things: where to create the split and in which direction. To do this, I will first play the note where the split point begins. The second note will tell Midi Kuper whether to split up or down. It will split the keyboard from the split point up if it is a higher note, and down if a lower note. Let me demonstrate. Now also I want to show you the split indicator shows two values here: the bottom of the range and the top of the range for the split. The top remains the highest possible MIDI value, and the bottom value is where I split the keyboard. Now I want to do the same thing for the piano. I want the piano on the lower half, so I'm going to again enable the split point. I'm going to remove this solo button here. And this time I'm going to do it manually. I know that the strings start at 60, so I'm going to make the piano go up to 59. And now I should have the piano on the bottom and strings at the top. So this is fine, but the ranges for the sounds are not as desired. So let's adjust the transpositions to give us a little bit more of a comfortable playing range for each track. So on the strings, I actually want to remove this transposition up 1 octave. In fact, I'm going to transpose it down 1 octave, again using the keyboard sense. And there we go. The piano is fine, so we'll leave it as it is. So there you have it. We have created layers, splits, and instant transpositions. When you assign these scenes to songs, you will be able to transition smoothly between them during your live performance. For more information on the great things you can do live with Midi Kuper, please watch the other Midi Kuper tutorials on this YouTube channel, and make sure to get your free 30-day trial copy of Midi Kuper.